What's up guys, this is Just Driven On and welcome back to To-Do List Minecraft. We are starting today's very special episode at, what did I call this, like the Monument to Stupidity or something? Well, we're going with that from now on. So we're here for a particular reason, and that is because I am a bit of an idiot. So I just thought I'd expose ourselves to this horror so that it would give some context to what I'm about to explain. For context to what I'm about to explain, I mean other than this, it's been three or 2 months between this episode and the last episode, so some things have happened. This is only for those who are watching it in the future who may not know that I've only just come back. So what happened? Hey, I got my computer back a couple of weeks ago, but not my microphone and all the stuff I needed for my microphone. So I figured, hey, what I'll do is I will copy our Minecraft world, do the work that I want to do after I film the intro to this episode, and then through the magic of the magic of editing, I will go ahead and cut them together so that I'm saying, hey, let's do this, and then I've already done that. It just saves me from, having to wait to do a lot of stuff on Minecraft. Stupidly, hence the fountain of stupidity. Oh, I should put a fountain there. That'd be nice. I didn't mean fountain. I meant monument of stupidity. I deleted the copy. So I did the work, and I thought, oh, great, I've done all that work. Now, why do I need this old copy of To-Do List Minecraft? I deleted that copy, and now you only have the new work that I've done, and you aren't going to get an introduction explaining that I'm going to do it. Which, in all fairness, that instruction would have been a lie, because I already did the work, so I'd have to be like, I think I might put this here, or maybe this, but actually it's this. So I'm going to head in the general direction of the village, which is actually quite far away from here. And, oh, by the way, we are going to do something around this area soon. But yeah, I'm going to head in the general direction of the village, and we will talk about what I've done, what I was supposed to be going to do, but had already done. It's all quite nice, but it's not really fair that you've been jumped back into To-Do List Minecraft without any real demonstration of what the village is like. There you go, there's the start of the road. It's a shame, because it would have been nicer to introduce you slowly. I'm just trying to put off showing you anything apart from, I guess, that window over there. It would have been nice to slowly introduce you to what we're about to do, but hey, you're being jumped in the middle. So I'm sorry for that. If you do miss what the old world looked a little bit like, go back and watch some old episodes, which I would not disapprove of at all. So we're going to skip the village first and just follow this road all the way to the castle. And this is because the village has a lot of changes and the castle has the least changes. So I'm going to make sure that we do the least changes first so that it's a little bit less jarring. You might notice that I've continued the road all the way to over there, and that's because we will be doing something over there, like I said. And you may have noticed also there's no wall around the village, and we'll talk about why that happened, and it was definitely on purpose and totally not a stupid accident. So I cut through here with the road, and I really like, in the end, what I've done with that little section. I decided not to normally I try and ease out the hill so it looks natural, looks like the road was always there and the land didn't have to be changed for the road. But in this case, I preferred to make it look like you had to cut through the hill for the road. If not, I would have had to have gradually stepped down all of this sand, and that would have taken a long time. So, new staircase here, not a big deal. If I go, I got trapped on my own gate there. If I go up here, you'll see I've moved these steps a little bit back, and that was out of necessity for the staircase. This is actually exactly the same as it was. I've put in here, theoretically, this is that water going down through this little trough, and it goes down onto this Ancient Warfare water wheel. Isn't that a lovely little water wheel? And that goes back here into what will be, it's not very pleasant, but it's a grindstone for grinding bone meal. This is all done with the Forge Microblocks mod. Yeah, I did just read the title off my little blue hints at the top. And then here is a Ancient Warfare flywheel energy storage thing, because it spins and it looks like it's turning a stone, I guess. So and also this is a bit of wool to make it look like there's actual bone in there. And if I just get out my little bloody Omni wrench thing, and you can see that these logs, I guess you call them, I guess everyone calls them, these logs here are actually fake conduit things to allow me to run cables either side, because the Ancient Warfare power stuff is a bit heavy-handed and it's hard to make it do what you want in a nice looking way. So I've hidden actual power conduits underneath, and that gives it this sort of like more rustic look. Some stuff is unfinished because, well, like this I haven't done anything to, because I realized halfway through the process of doing this that I hadn't kept the old world, so my original plan wouldn't work. So I've left some stuff to do afterwards. So what we have to do afterwards is make a little shop area here to have the grinded bone meal put, and that's so that we can set up trading between two villages. Speaking about the bone meal and where it comes from, I have redone the mob spawner which was probably the first thing you noticed in here, because now we were having a problem with lag, and that was caused, I think, by something wrong with the mob spawner. And what was happening was there were mobs, like hundreds and thousands of mobs, all invisible in the mob spawner. And also it was so close to, well, that's the cause of the lag, by the way, I think. And it was so close to this area that no Ancient Warfare NPCs could work here because they were all scared of all the mobs in there. So I've moved it all the way back here, and I've set up Ancient Warfare hand crank torque generators, and there's actually 2 layers of it, some underneath here. And that means what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Ancient Warfare craftsmen or engineers, I can't remember which, no, it's craftsmen, work these, and the power's going to go down there, and that's actually going to use the mob spawner, cause them, that's actually going to power the mob spawner. And well, that'll be kind of what I originally wanted. And I'm right now having it powered by, just to stop any mobs from building up, having it powered by this resin energy cell I've taken it from the dinosaur habitat, which is, it's kind of defunct, and I'm not going to talk about that yet because I'm going to do something to fix it, hopefully. So that all runs through here, and under here, if I show you again, this is a bunch of conduits and piping and stuff like that, because that goes into a, what are they called? Tesseract. A tesseract behind this wall, because this is fake too, one of these. Well, there's one over there that's fake, and takes it into a room behind here, going into a tesseract so that the resources from the mob spawner can go to the main area where things are sorted and processed. Some things, I'm not sure what yet, but at least bone meal, are going to be kept here, and they're going to be processed in this area, and they'll work for this village. They'll do things for this small village outpost thing. And then hopefully what we'll have set up is the bone meal being traded to the farmers to be used to grow crops, which will in turn be traded as food to these guys so they don't have to grow their own food, which I don't know, just kind of like makes me happy. One other big change that I won't be able to show you because it's a non-existent thing is that we no longer have a last millennium base. And that makes me sad because it was a really cool thing. But I suspected as well that that was a big part of the lag. It may not have been, now I think about it. Now I know that, because I only discovered the whole invisible mob thing when I was fixing up the mob spawner. It may not have been the fault of the Millennium base, but, well, you know, it could have been, and it wasn't worth keeping it around for just that. So all that work and those 2 episodes have gone to waste. But, you know, I do have plans to do something about it in future, and it should be nice. So here is what happened to the other power cell for the other dinosaurs, and I've put it on here because I wanted to make sure this worked, and I will show you what this is. It doesn't actually work. I'm going to make some changes to it. You can see we've got some block lag, so I won't actually go through there. What I've done is I've set up a, oh good, we made the jump. I've set up a Ancient Warfare farm, tree farm. Gosh, this is annoying. Tree farm, and I've set it so that if I can take you through back to here, I don't know why I came around if this is what I wanted to show you. God, the lag's annoying. I have to figure out what's going wrong with this world for the lag. So what I've done is I've set the bounds to loads and loads of turned off stuff. And when this guy comes back and mines them, because I've actually changed the bounds recently, they won't grow trees. In a lot of places, they'll only grow a few trees, so that they'll actually be growing a forest, not a big block of trees and wood, an actual forest, which should look nice. So yes, that's the main change over here. 2 slightly different ways of harvesting trees. Because I prefer the idea that they're actually growing a forest and it'll look like a forest from an aesthetic point of view rather than looking like a tree farm. So this is the next thing. I never really needed to use, like, I've changed the resource production system. So I've never really needed to use the, what was it called? The smeltery here. So I've replaced the smeltery, and also I believed it was also a source of lag. I was doing my best to take out anything that caused any lag. And I replaced that with these 4 incredibly overcomplicated furnaces. So this is a furnace in the center, just a plain old furnace, and these are all half blocks, slabs, other things to make it look like they're super complicated furnaces, but really it's just decoration. I'm really happy with the way they worked out though, because it looks like they're puffing out a little bit of smoke. Little 1 blocks. I'm just gonna get some food from here. Little 1 blobs of smoke at a time, because, and I didn't know it worked like this. The smoke from the Twilight Forest smoke jets, which is what these are and what the bakery is, actually have physics to them. So when they're trapped in a little bit by the slabs, which I can't believe it works. When they're trapped in by the slabs a little bit, they fire out smaller amounts of smoke. I've no idea whether it's intentional, but it works really well. And it definitely wasn't intentional when I did it. I didn't know what I thought would happen. So there it is. It puffs out little tiny blobs of smoke. And I'm not happy with the effect. And up here is just some netherrack, which is burning. I've also changed this. The lava generator was also possibly a source of lag, and I wasn't able to turn it off necessarily when I wanted to. So I've replaced it with this block, with this better barrel, and what's going to happen is basically the Ancient Warfare NPCs are going to put stuff in here and pull it out of here. And that's part of a thing we're going to do this episode, which is making the Ancient Warfare NPCs more efficient. And in between now and when I actually do the work for this, I'm going to fix, or try and fix, what's wrong with the Ancient Warfare NPCs. They're all like, they do one action at a time. They'll like make one step freeze, make one step freeze, and it's really, really odd. So I'm going to try and fix that as well. But for now, that's what's happening. So the rest of this episode, we're going to fix the Ancient War NPCs and also make them more efficient. And this is the next thing I've done. I've taken out the kind of eyesore-ish storage area I had here, which was the main nexus for taking and leaving ingredients. There was a big chest here full of like meat and dirt, and well, no, dirt actually, meat and leather and stuff like that. And I've removed that, and there's a new one over there, which I'll show you in a second. So these are the animal farms. I've moved these as well. There's a little chameleon walking on the glass, which is a bit odd. Because I wanted it to look like there was no glass here, but whatever. So these are the new animal pens because I had to move them because I didn't like them where they were. And they're a little bit bigger. I've given them water, but they can't actually access the water because I had to put glass over it because it annoyed me that they were jumping up and down in the water. So the water comes from the same well that the water for the farms comes from. And they still think they can go in it, which is weird. So they tend to collaborate on top of the water. Gather is probably the word I was looking for. And if you go down here, you find a little farmy farm, a little sugarcane farm, and I liked the idea of having it a little bit vaguely natural-ish. So yeah, the sugarcane grows on these little outcroppings. It's not necessarily the most efficient because I could have used all that land, but I think it looks better, and I might even expand it. So there's that. I'm not flying for a particular reason. I don't want to show you everything at once. I want to gradually introduce you to all the different things we've done. But I should fly to show you this because now we have a lot more farms, and this is because we had a food production problem, especially if I want to start having these guys trade food to other villages. So I wanted them to produce a lot more food. So now we have 6 extra fields of wheat. One of these fields has been converted to carrots, and then we've got 2 fields of potatoes. So we've got 2 fields of potatoes, 2 fields of carrots, and then like 12 fields of wheat or something like that. Don't judge my math skills. And then I've also extended everything else along. All the rivers all come to meet. This bit here is a bit weird because the river flows in 2 directions, seemingly. One out that way into this small pond over here, and one out that way into the ocean, and I'll show you that now. I've also extended the road back out here and through the small village, and I'm going to put this further over there afterwards. We're going to take this right through and connect it to that road over there, which will mean some changes to the village here as well. I may even move the town hall. Don't know what I think about it yet. And if you have any ideas, let me know, because I can always undo the changes. And I've done the same here, cutting through the countryside, which I actually much prefer. So the road goes out here. I was going to show you this going to the sea. And there was actually a little natural channel here. So all I've done is kind of extended it. And there was a pond here that actually, it went up to this level, underwater here. And I've just lifted it up a little bit so that the whole thing flows together. Because I really like working a little bit with the way the land actually looks. So I've just extended that along. And there's nothing going on here really. I need to fix, if we come down here, it's still a mess I think. I need to fix this rubbish, this mess, and I will do that. I do like the weird sciencey feel to this room. I may use it for another room, but I will fix this. And that's going to be one of the other projects we have to do. We also have to finish automating the beehives because I kind of honestly got bored of it and never did it. I put this little well in here. This is for me just to do a little bit of paddling in. Great. And I haven't done much to these houses because that's a big thing to do, and I didn't want to do it without you. And I thought, it's kind of a special thing as well, kind of a fun thing, giving this town life. So I haven't put any villages in, and I haven't done the interiors yet. I think most of them have floors though. So I'm not following the path. I am walking on the grass. I should put a sign up. I have taken this path all the way down here and all the way around. It goes over there, but it doesn't finish. All the way around here, down here, it goes under a little bridge, and this is going to go to whatever's going there. I do have some ideas, probably a nature reserve, maybe a small one. Now, this is one of the biggest things. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off, because it should have been off this whole time. What this is a slightly unfinished new resource production area. So the main point of this is that it can be turned off and on. This should turn off every machine, or at least stop it from receiving any more instructions. So these should be winding down on the last things they were given. And that means that if this machine series does cause lag, because I worry that our previous resource area caused lag, if this machine series does cause lag, I can turn them off and on so that I can do other things that might cause lag. So it's just to preserve the fairly fragile game state that we have. So all of these have their stuff in. We haven't finished all the resource production here. I want to set up this what's it called? Oh yeah, Steve Factory. I want to set this up to make some special items because there's some stuff that it's a big pain in the ass to make for me. So I'm going to set Steve's Factory to make it for me. And there's lots of stuff like that. And then these are actually pre-cooked ingots. So previously I had only the bare resources and I processed them and cooked them myself. Now they are blocked up by a packager. Here, it's actually two. They go into here and get all blocked up. And then some of them, which can't be processed any further, go into here and are put in the chests. And then some of them, which can be processed, go into a little thing behind here, a little sorter box which goes into the stoves to be cooked, and then that goes up as ingots. And I'm going to leave it there I'm not going to block these up anymore. I want the ingots because sometimes I need the ingots on their own. I should really do the same with the diamonds and the emeralds, but I prefer having diamond blocks. It's also a little bit more compact. And then here's some more process resources. One of the things we had a problem with last time, whoopsie daisy, I fell, is that we couldn't get hold of glass or stone or cobblestone. We couldn't get hold of them very easily. So, and right now the system isn't set up very well, so we don't end up with those things anyway. But I want to make it easier for us to get them. There's still stuff to be done in this building. I don't want it to be a big open floor. I don't want it to be this tesseract in the middle. This is taking the items from the mob spawner, by the way. I don't want this tesseract to be in the middle, and I don't want this anvil there either. So there's still some stuff to be finished here, but otherwise I'm pretty happy with it. I've moved our reactor. The old reactor is still in place, and well, that'll be a problem that I'll fix shortly. I took a lot of the resources from the last Millennium base before I just went into World Editor and deleted it so that I didn't have to go through all the hassle of making this stuff again. And this is Clock, the pig who, I don't know why or how, but he wandered in and he sort of stuck around in the area. Everything I was doing, he was sort of following me, watching me. So I gave him a name and I stuck him down here, and he's going to look after this area for us now, which I rather like. So that is the last major thing here, I think. The next thing is I put a door here because it didn't have a door, which is stupid. And I'm going to make it into a better door. It's not just going to be like sharp marble. And I've extended this little, I guess it's a walkway or a dock or something, because I don't know why there's a chicken here. I've extended this little dock out so it covers all of the edge here. And I've got this little raised wall, and it kind of smoothly integrates back into the path up here. And then two fishing docks here, which are going to be Ancient Warfare. I'll have some Ancient Warfare NPCs in this village, which means I'll have to set up another village block and so on and give them all upkeep orders, which is going to be a hassle. But that's what we'll do next. And then over here, I've just put a little dock for our flying ship. Really, I should extend the dock so it goes into the air. But I was kind of expecting that this ship would be able to land in the water. I can't. I don't know if it's a lag issue or a ship issue, but for some reason, I can't put it down in the water. It just keeps jumping back up, which is frankly very annoying. So that is a major part of the changes. That's fully 20 minutes of changes. I haven't put the interiors on these buildings. I haven't put a lot of the doors on. I haven't put the NPCs in. I haven't set up the new NPCs here. And that's what we'll do at the end of this episode, or the rest of this episode. We'll more efficientify. That's not really at all the correct way of saying that. We'll make it more efficient to do these things. The stuff I haven't done, like the portal room, is still a mess. I'd like to fix the portal room. It's super dark, if you remember. You probably do, or not. I'll just take you there quickly. It's still a mess if this portal even works. Oh, it does. Yeah, the portal room is a mess. It's dark because I turned off this. It's sort of all, look at this. It's like carpenter blocks, untextured. There's a piece of wood in the way. Awful. It's a mess. So I will fix this. It does appear that there's still a portal there. Oh no, it's water dripping. It's not portal. It's not portal particles. No, it does look like portal particles. That's weird. Well, I'll find out what's going on with this portal because it shouldn't actually exist anymore. So I want to fix up this area. I don't want it to be so dark. I want it to be a little bit more sleek. And then afterwards, we're basically done with that. Gosh, that was really loud. Okay, so, oh, I didn't show you the inside of the windmill, which I'm really happy with. If we go over here, I've done something similar with the windmill. The windmill was actually the first one I did. This is carpenter blocks and micro blocks all put together to make it look like a millstone. And inside you actually see corn, which is yellow wool. And there's corn coming out. And underneath here, if we go down this little carpenter's trapdoor here, you can find the actual Ancient Warfare. And this had to be underneath so that we could still actually process wheat. But I just wanted a little bit more of an aesthetically pleasing version of Ancient Warfare wheat processing. So here is just obviously an Ancient Warfare flywheel. This is a fake wall, if I show you again, with conduits going up to the top so that you can actually provide this power. And I think it goes underneath And there we go. I'm actually, of all the things I've done, this is the one I'm happiest with. It looks a lot more like an actual windmill. So the last thing I said about this resource area has been mostly removed, and I didn't bother transferring the resource anyway. I was so fed up with it. I destroyed all the blocks, and then I just let the resources disappear. So I need to move some of this stuff over, or destroy some of it, or whatever I want to do with it. But mostly this is finished now. I might put something there afterwards, maybe some new houses, because we have new farms, so we probably need new villages. But that's all done with this area. I prefer the way it looks, honestly. It looks a bit more flowing, and it makes a lot more sense. And, well, I'm just happier with it. The stuff we need to do here still, like that needs to be turned into a bank, the interiors, but I've also made some changes to the to-do list room. And by that I mean the to-do list gods have made some changes to the to-do list room. So I wanted to make it a little bit less obvious, like you could just walk past it. So I've pulled some of these down a little bit, some of these stalactite-esque things. I put them down a bit so that it looks a bit like it's melted into the wall. And I've also done a little bit of work on the redstone so that the door and the door mechanism is less obvious. But I did that by using, instead of using just plain redstone, Minecraft redstone, I'm using underneath conduits from Ender.io. I think they're from Ender.io. Wait, let me check. Yes, they are from Ender.io. I'm using conduits, which make things a little bit easier. Still the same principle. I have under it here 4 pistons pushing about a redstone block so that when I step on it once, it puts it in the open position. It takes a bit longer this time. I don't really know why. It actually didn't work. I paused so that something's gone wrong with the redstone. That's very annoying. Things never work when you're trying to show them to other people. So, I don't know what's gone wrong, but you can have a look at it actually should be lag. It could be lag. I think we're suffering a lag issue. And, well, there's 4 pistons here. There's something going wrong with them. I'm going to break my way into the to-do list room so I can show it to you. But, well, oh! Well, that's bloody annoying. There we go. I'm just going to break my way in. Imagine that it opened properly. I'll fix the lag issue, but I don't really know what's causing it still. I really thought I'd solved the problem, but I'm still having some issues. Oh well, I'll fix them and we can get on with things. So, this is the new to-do list room. It's basically the same thing, but I figured out some nice upgrades to make to it. For the first thing, gosh, that's loud. I'll turn that down at editing, but for me, it's extremely loud. So I've made a lot of changes to here. The first one is that these taint swarms, which is what these guys actually are. Firstly, I've healed them because they've been on like 13 health the whole time. And then I've put a black background on them. And also I have put an inverted skyblock painted bridge here, which basically is just invisible blocks. So when I walk on it, it looks like I'm walking on a hell thing, like a little portal to hell or something. And then I climb up these steps and we have, if the lag doesn't take too long, I have the new to-do list signs at the back here on white. So I'm much happier with this. Jesus Christ, that music is so loud. I'm going to fix it in editing, but for me it's extremely loud, so don't mind if I'm talking as if I was in a hurricane or something. But well, this is the new to-do list room. I have a plan later on for this little bit here of something that I'd like to do, but that's not for you right now. Well, there we go. That is all the changes. Now we're going to proceed to some of the things that I want to do for this episode, because so far it's just been show and tell. I'm not a big fan of show and tell, although I do it a lot. So in this episode, we are going to probably finish off the road. We're probably going to put in some new villages, and I'll show you how the new villages are doing and what new routes they're doing. We're going to make them more efficient and I'll show you the new resource storage depot. It's not very big, but it's nice. We're going to make them more efficient by having them drop off all their resources here in the in section. I really want to switch these around. I don't know why, but I want them in the other orientation. This is going to be the in section, and they'll drop stuff in here, and it'll get sorted, and they'll all have a specific amount of stuff put in this chest by, I guess, the conduits, but I have a bit of trouble making them do that all the time. Put in the conduits so they can pull out the right amount of resources to then go on and put in the appropriate places. And it just makes the system a little bit more efficient. I don't want, one person running around to one chest and someone else running to a different chest to collect something else, and, well, that would just be a pain. So I'm going to set all that up, and that's what we're going to be the rest of this episode. I'm going to set up these NPCs, show you how they're all working, and we'll show our final form of this village. And then we'll be able to get on some new cool stuff that I've been planning for this village, for this world, and for other places in this world. And I'm really looking forward, I think, mostly to finishing this town, because I have another town that I'd like to do over there. Okay, so I am going to set to work on some of this stuff. I'll probably cut to you in between as I work on it, and then we'll have finished our little show and tell thing going on here. I'll see you in a second. All right, apart from the rather miserable weather, we are mostly done, or at least not mostly done. I wanted to show you halfway through so that you wouldn't feel excluded, because there's been a lot of, like I said, showing and telling this episode. So here's some well, some different showing and telling where I show you half and then do the rest and then tell you about it. So here are the new houses we need for the new villages, because we've got more farming capacity and because I want the system to be more efficient. So we have 3, 4, 5, and then I think, I might actually have to make a 6th one. I haven't started yet. Probably 6 extra houses, and I've put labels on all of these. So this is P-Town's house, and he's an animal farmer over there. And I've done my best to go through and update a lot of the names, because I remember starting a tradition of putting the names of people who'd commented into the YouTube channel, but I only ever did that with where is he? Where's that? Oh yeah, this guy. So I've done it. I've updated it for this chap over here. And I'm not saying the names on particular, because if you happen to see your name and are annoyed that it's in the video, which I can understand, some people might feel like that, then let me know and I'll cut it out and you won't even see it. But, well, anyway, I've updated that. So we've now got 3 people who are in the video now, 4 people rather, and then plus P-Town, who doesn't really count, but I put him in there anyway. And then also this little guy here who now has a house, and this is not a permanent thing. I just saw him hanging around here and felt bad that he didn't have anywhere to stay. He really was walking up and down this street, and I felt like he was looking for a home. So now we have little Frezzy here, and he's going to go somewhere else in the future for a future project. But for now, he's got this little tiny house next door to Mr. No Name, because there wasn't enough people commenting on my videos. So we've got Mr. No Name there, Mr. No Name there, and there's a couple of other no names. So if you happen to want your name in here, go ahead and just put, I don't know, something stupid like I like donkeys. I don't know. And right, so here is the new houses. There's the new names. I've gone ahead and put in a little woodsman shack along with a path here for our woodsman, and this just goes up to the trees. And now you can see the effect I wanted of the new tree area, the new tree farming area, which is that it looks like a small forest that is being regularly chopped down. So if I go around here, you can see that there is, there's a aura node there. You can see that it looks like trees just growing normally. They're being replanted, and it has a better effect. As soon as I've turned these bounding boxes off for Ancient Warfare, in fact, I can do it now. There we go, much better. Now that I've turned these off, it just looks like a little woodside that keeps, a little wood that keeps regrowing and being chopped down. And this reminds me, why don't we have a wall around our village anymore? So, when I put this in, I included within the bounds of these 2 work areas, I included the wall. And that chopped out all of the wooden parts of the wall, leaving us with this like stone frame. And I decided that in the end, I didn't like the wall enough to put all the effort in to rebuild it. So the wall is now gone, because it turns out that it will chop any connected log. So if you happen to have a forest with all the logs by happenstance touching of all the same kind, I guess, it will chop through all of them, because it was an oak wall with a stone top. And these are oak trees. So as soon as it touched the oak wall, it just chopped all the way to the end, which I was really impressed by. So there you go. That's why we haven't got a wall. Now, let's show you how the new system is going to work when I've finished implementing it, because I didn't want to implement it without you. Oh, wait, sorry, on the way, I'll just show you these signs. I put signs up because it was important to know who was farming where and what and for what reason. So the crop farms all now have allocations, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, as well as there's a sign to the sugarcane and to the animal farms. So if we go under here, I've put in the in chest over here, the out chest, all of the resources that need to be going in and out of the out chest. Well, out of the out chest. And this is just so that I can remember, but it's 2 bone meal to be gone into, divided up between the farms, however many farms that can cover, and hopefully we'll have a surplus of bone meal, meaning that they can all be divided up properly. 2 raw mutton, 2 raw beef, 2 raw pork chop, 2 raw chickens, and then so on. We have wheat for feeding, 2 wheats for feeding and 2 wheats for grinding to be made into bread, 2 carrots one to be eaten and 1 to be made into, well, for breeding pigs, 1 potato to be cooked, and then all the other miscellaneous resources for other miscellaneous things. And what I'm going to have is the in chest. I haven't actually done it yet, but the in chest will be wired up to all of these, and that will put everything that goes in the in chest will be sorted into these boxes for me, and those are my personal resources produced by this area, which is not really fair because they put all the hard work. And the rest will be, so because Ender.io conduits, I can't, as far as I know, there is no way to have them selectively place in resources, like have them put in 64 or 24 or whatever of a particular number into one chest. I'm just going to have them put in everything that goes in the in chest will be sorted, and everything that goes in the out chest, which is, I guess, a misuse of the out chest, will stay there and will be taken out by something else. So really this should say Gesture of None chest, and this should say Villager chest. But hey, whatever. So the guy's going to come by, drop in 64 into this chest of whatever resource he's dropping in, and then the rest will go into the in chest and be sorted out. So there we go. That's how the system's going to work. So I can show you now that almost all the producers rather, if I've done it properly, have a new chest or 2 new chests, one for their resources in and one for their resources out. And that'll be collected by, I think, 2 new couriers are going to be put in place. One that delivers all the food and one that well, actually probably a couple more new couriers. And this is for raw meat and cooked meat. There's probably going to be a couple new couriers, and the blacksmith as well has got the same thing. I removed what I'd previously set up because I wanted to make the whole system work the whole same way so that it's easier for me to maintain. Oh, some lag. That's annoying. Okay, we just crashed for a second, and I don't know what. Well, I do know what, actually. It's been literally a day between there and then, or there and now. And it was something to do with the primitive mobs mod, and it was a chameleon. So I might just kill every chameleon that I see from now on, although they are pretty cute. So here we go. Here we've got all the frames of the houses, everything sorted with the lag. And all we need to do now is make our NPCs a little tiny bit more efficient, and we're good to go. So I'm quite looking forward to that. I'm just going to fill in these houses. Maybe I'll build a few more, and then we'll go through all the changes. So I will see you in just a moment. Alright, the sun is rising and you might be able to see a few of our new little friends coming out of their houses, and I sound like a child's TV presenter, which is not something I ever wanted to be. So let's show you around the way things are. I'm actually just going to take a second to turn my music down. There we go. I mean, it's mildly better. I might just turn it down in editing. Okay, so everyone is coming out of their houses. There's this chap, and then the farm producer collector. His name is not Cole, it's a farm produce collector. And he's heading off over, well, he didn't actually use the bridge, which is kind of annoying. He's heading off over there along with all the other ones. There's actually several more NPCs than I initially intended, which is fine. I'll explain all the changes to these houses soon. Let's start at the beginning. I'm going to explain the whole system to you now. So here are the farms, right? Farm produce collector is going to walk around and collect everything from the farms, as his name implies, because I told him to do that. And then he's going to go down here and drop off a certain set amount of those resources into this chest. From this chest, he will go to this chest and drop off all the rest in here, and then anything that can be sorted into these boxes will be sorted. And the reason they've started to fill up a lot is because it's in the time where I only had a certain number of the different collectors in the right place. So these have started to fill up a bit. Anything that can't be processed will put into here, and there are a few things that under here go straight into a bin because I'm not interested in them, like for example poisoned potatoes. So after that, the animal farm collector will go around here and collect all of the meat, wool, chicken stuff and so on, and he'll put those into the same resource collection area. And he will also, because he's close, pick up the stuff from the sugarcane farm, and that's taken over here. And then the same thing happens. The reason that the sugarcane there now is because I haven't got anything being done with the sugarcane, but hey, it's there. And the same thing with the potatoes, actually. I never set them up to be processed, and these things as well. So the same thing will happen with these, and also with the productions from anything else, any other farms that we have hanging around. And then over comes I'll see if I can find him. He should be called the Farm Produce Delivery. And if I can find him, oh yeah, Produce Deliverer. Right, so this guy comes along and picks up any wheat, any carrots, and any other items that I want him to pick up, and he takes them to be delivered. So the first place he delivers them is to the wheat place. What's it called? The mill. And there it is milled into, well, it should be being milled into the flour. Now there was a backup because, like I said, I think I've mentioned it a couple times now, there is a weird problem with Ancient Warfare where it stops the recipe from being used after a certain amount of time. It could be after actually each time of restarting the game. I'm not sure about that. But I'll just have to check every now and then whether it's being processed. So the next thing up is that the food delivery chap, whatever I'm going to call him, I'll change his name every single time, will drop off the flour in this box, the meat in the butcher's box in here. Butcher refuses to go in his house. He just hangs out outside, making it very hard for me to enter. Get out of the way, dude. Come on. There we go. Just push him in. And that goes into this chest. And then I think that's all the places he delivers things to. And the last NPC left is well, actually there's 2 left, is the fuel delivery guy. So the fuel delivery guy comes over here and he starts by emptying out all of the wood and apples from this box. I know apples aren't fuel, but they're kind of a type of fuel. They're a human fuel, so that's fine. He sticks the apples in here and then goes on his merry way. And then he comes over here and drops off all of the wood in this chest. There is no wood left now. And picks up any charcoal from this chest. And then he goes ahead and drops the charcoal off inside of the furnaces here for the baker, and the furnaces over here for the butcher. Now, lastly, the food collector goes to the food storage depot and picks up any food in there. So that's basically just the carrots. He comes with the carrots and picks up the bread from the baker, and then he takes the bread from the baker and he picks up the cooked food from the cooked meat from here, and then he goes over here and picks up the apples from the woodsman, and then he delivers it all in here, and that's why this is all full of food. Now, at some point there will be a excess of food because these guys do not consume food fast enough to empty this out, and that's where another section of the Ancient Warfare trading system, or at least my way of setting up the Ancient Warfare trading system, will come in, because I've set up these guys to accept bone meal, and at some point I'm going to have these guys over here. Well, there's no one there yet, but soon there will be people there, and they will be trading bone meal to these guys so that they can get food for their production system. But it's all set up so that priority will be given to those foods that are easiest to produce. So the wheat grows a lot faster. Well, it doesn't grow faster, but it's just there's more of it. So bread is a lot easier to come by. So bread is given priority over meat, and then, but that, by which I mean, by the way, that the wheat goes first to the bread, then to the animals, if there's enough extra to feed the animals, and then bread is picked up with priority to meat, and so on, so that we're more likely to get the valuable resource, the most easiest to acquire resources, rather than the system being blocked up by something else, if that makes sense. Theoretically, every single one has an overflow where it'll dump excess resources, but usually as the system goes on for a bit longer, we run into problems that build up, and we can figure out solutions to them. For example, I will probably need to get a trash collector to come along, and that will be an NPC who's designed to go through each box and pick up all of the resources that are left over that aren't to be sorted. So I bet if I, for example, go into this one here where there's a sheep wandering around, there will be some poop inside of this box. There's none, but I really expected there would be, maybe in this one. No, but usually there's resources that, like, this is the poop I mean. Usually there's resources that get picked up that shouldn't be in there, that will need someone to go around and collect, and that's definitely true of the woodsman, because there was a chicken wandering around there and he left some eggs and some feathers and stuff like that. So those are all of our NPCs, and I think there were some changes. Oh yes, first change, I have put a what's it called, daylight detector here, which is inverted so that when it's nighttime or dark, the smoke turns off here, which means that obviously the baker's not baking in the nighttime, so there shouldn't be any smoke, which is what's happening now. It's light out, or well, sort of light, not very light. God, stop playing with that door, you annoying bastard. It's light out, so there is smoke, but well, obviously there's no baking happening, so maybe I should try and adjust it a little bit. But at daytime, or rather at nighttime, this smoke will stop because there's two pistons underneath here. It takes 2 blocks to stop it, not just one. There's 2 pistons under here that will stop the smoke coming out by blocking off this area, and that's these 2 blocks here. Gosh, I can't say anything. Let me out. Let me out. Seriously, let me out. Okay, gosh, it was quite hard to escape that. And then also I've put these micro blocks here, or these, micro block slab things here to reduce the amount of smoke coming out, because previously it was a continuous stream and I wanted little puffs. And the next changes are this here, this tent over the baker's area, and that is because he would always stand at the door doing it, so I decided to make it look as if he's got sort of an open door policy. And the same with the baker, sometimes he stands outside, so I wanted to be able to see what's going on from outside, so that it looks a bit more interactive than just an empty house, because both of these guys can do their jobs without leaving the house, and I didn't want them to, look as if they don't really exist. So now you can see them doing their stuff from the outside. And that is everything. The system now works pretty well. We'll hopefully see as we keep playing, as the time passes on in this village, that this will fill up with food and we'll have enough left over to trade. If not, maybe I'll play around with the efficiency a bit. Definitely when we have bone meal in the system, the things will go a bit faster, although last time I introduced bone meal, we ended up with actually a clogging of the system, because they were all focusing on putting in the bone meal, and that made them go slower. So hopefully we'll be able to think of some solutions to those things, and we'll be able to get the system flowing perfectly. It's a shame that we're ending on a rainy scene, because you can't actually see anyone going about their jobs. All you can see is them being stuck and confused by the rain, which tends to happen and is very weird. And there are situations we've got to get used to here, where this guy, for example, doesn't think he can get past these half blocks. I don't know what he's going to end up doing, but he was stuck there. Maybe I'll have to remove that. So there's bugs to be fixed out, sorted out. There's stuff we've got to fix. But otherwise, I'm quite happy with the system now. So I'm going to call it here, because this episode, I think, will now have run on to about 40 minutes or 45. So we're going to call it here. And I will see you next week, where we're moving on to bigger and better things. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Gesture of None. I'm sorry this first episode back was a bit more show and tell than I usually like it to be. But hopefully it'll be a bit more inclusive next week. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment below if you've got any ideas, questions or suggestions. And I will see you next time.